You hired someone. You thought, finally, relief. More hands on deck, less on your plate, a little breathing room. But somehow you're still overwhelmed, maybe even more overwhelmed than before. And now there's a new voice in your head asking, did I hire the wrong person? Is my team just not stepping up? Am I bad at this whole delegation thing? If that's you, I want you to take a breath because the problem isn't you. And honestly, it's probably not even your team. It's something else entirely. And once you see it, it changes how you lead. Before we go further, quick question. When you hired last time, did it actually remove something from your plate or did it just add more to manage? Drop a comment below. I read every one, and I have a feeling I already know what most of you are going to say. Here's the thing most business owners don't realize until they're deep in it. More people doesn't automatically mean less pressure. In fact, without clarity and structure, hiring often increases complexity instead of reducing it. And that disconnect between what you expected and what actually happened, well, it creates something really painful. Frustration, self doubt, a quiet question of, what am I doing wrong? Now, here's the truth most business owners miss. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just trying to solve a structural problem with a staffing solution. And those are not the same thing. In this video, we're going to cover the faulty assumption most business owners make about hiring, why adding people can actually create more work, and the simple shift that actually starts to reduce overwhelm. Plus, I'll give you one small step that you can take today, not tomorrow, today, to start moving in the right direction. Most business owners reach a breaking point. You're working longer hours, answering every question, making every decision, putting out fires from the moment you open your laptop to the moment you close it. So the obvious answer feels like, I just need more help, more hands, more capacity, someone to take things off of your plate. And that instinct, it's not wrong. But hiding beneath it is an assumption that almost no one says out loud. And it's that if I add a person, my workload will automatically shrink. And unfortunately, that's simply not how it works because hiring is not a relief strategy. It's a leverage strategy. And leverage only actually works when you have clarity underneath it. Without clarity, you don't add leverage, you add weight. Let me give you a real example of what this looks like. I worked with a business owner, really capable guy, genuinely committed to growing his company, who came to me completely overextended. He was working every hour he could find, and he was convinced that hiring was the answer. So he hired someone. But here's what he did. He chose the most affordable option, even though he had the budget for more. The role wasn't clearly defined. The skill level, well, it didn't match what he actually needed to offload. And the new hire, who was a perfectly fine person, couldn't step into the key client interactions he was hoping to hand off. What happened next was predictable, but it still caught him off guard. The new hire needed onboarding, needed direction, needed him to explain context he'd never written down because it all lived in his head. So instead of doing one job, he was suddenly doing two. His original responsibilities plus managing someone who couldn't fully operate independently yet. The hire, well, they didn't last long term, and he ended up more behind than when he started. Now, was the person bad? No. Was hiring a mistake? Not inherently. The mistake was assuming that more hands automatically meant lighter workload. He hadn't identified what truly needed to come off of his plate, what only he should be doing, or what the role actually required to make a real difference. And that's not a hiring problem, that's a clarity problem. Real quick, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I'm not sure what to fix in my business, I have something for you. It's a free quiz I created called the Ready to Scale Growth Stage Quiz. It takes about 2 minutes and it gives you a clear picture of exactly where your business is right now and what your next move should be. The link is below in the description. Okay, so if adding people isn't the full answer, what is? When hiring doesn't fix overwhelm, it almost always comes back to one of three things. You hired for the wrong role, meaning the position you filled wasn't actually the one creating the most pressure. Or you hired the wrong skill level, meaning that the person couldn't truly own what you needed to hand off. Or third, you hired without clarity on what actually needed to leave your plate, meaning that even the right person in the right role couldn't fully help you because you hadn't decided what help looked like yet. And underneath all three of those, you never made one fundamental leadership decision: what only I should be doing and what someone else should fully own. That's not a hiring decision. That's a leadership decision. And this is where the shift begins, because overwhelm isn't solved by more people. It's solved by clarity, defined roles, clear decision boundaries, intentional structure. Hiring without clarity creates complexity. That's the difference. If hiring didn't fix your overwhelm, I want you to really hear this. You're not failing, you're not bad at business, and you're not incapable of leading a team. You tried to solve a structural problem with a staffing solution. That's an incredibly common pattern. I see it constantly in smart, capable, hardworking business owners who genuinely want to do right by their teams. And the good news, it's fixable. Not complicated, but it does require a different starting point. Instead of asking, who should I hire next? The better question is, what needs to leave my plate? And what does the role actually need to look like to make that happen? That question changes everything. Here's the simple first step. And I mean simple. This is a 5 to 10 minute exercise. Take a piece of paper or open a notes app and list your top 5 tasks that drain your energy. They take significant time and you genuinely dread doing them. Not the tiny admin stuff, the real ones, the ones eating up your mental space, even when you're not doing them. Then ask yourself one question. Could someone else own this? Not help with it, not assist me, but actually own it. Now that list, it becomes the foundation of a strategic hiring plan. Not a reactive one, a strategic one. And when you hire from that place with clarity about what truly needs to leave your plate, you stop adding complexity and start creating real relief. So let's bring this home. Hiring without clarity adds complexity. Hiring with clarity creates freedom. The reason hiring didn't fix your overwhelm wasn't the person, and it wasn't even the role. It was the missing structure underneath, the clarity on what only you should own and what you need to hand off completely. When you make that shift, you stop being the chief everything officer and start stepping into the leader your business actually needs. That's what I call becoming a breakaway boss. Not someone who works harder, someone who leads smarter, someone whose business works for them, not because of them. More growth doesn't have to mean more grind. You can build a business that runs without running you into the ground. Now, if this video helped you see something differently today, hit like and subscribe, because that's exactly what we talk about here every week. The real leadership shift that creates more growth, more freedom, and less grind. And when you're ready to know exactly where your business is right now and what to prioritize next, take the free quiz linked in the description. 2 minutes, clear answers, the links below. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next video.